Hello everybody, welcome back to the railway, and I'm going to try to hide the excitement a little bit in my voice because I have to try and be professional in all this. But I've certainly been looking forward to doing this video for a very long time. I've been very excited about doing this. And of course you'll probably have guessed by now, you know, based on the title and other things, that this is going to be the Southern running day, and I've got lots of gorgeous I think they're gorgeous, locomotives lined up for you, ready to run with some various rolling stock, and hopefully we'll all enjoy it, me especially, because I do love Southern locomotives. And I'm going to get onto those in just a second, but first I thought I'd give you a little bit of information on the Southern Railway. I haven't got an awful lot this time because I really want to get on with it, but I thought just in case anybody does find it interesting, here it is. So the Southern Railway was established during the grouping of 1923, just like the other members of the Big Four. And the Southern Railway basically linked London with the south of England, you know, or the rest of the south of England, and merged quite a lot of railways together. I think one of the key ones was the LSWR, I think, London South, I don't know, Western Railway, something like that, which was a key one. And you'll notice a lot of the locomotives that we're going to run today were from the LSWR. So that's the reason why a lot of the Southern locos, or the locos that we know to be Southern, do originate from the LSWR. So most of the track work, though, that made up the Southern Railway was built considerably before any of this happened, back in 1838, which was then called the London and Southampton Railway, and apparently a lot of that railway and its track work then went on to become the Southern Railway. So of course we're not going to see any of that today on my little model railway, but that's what happened in real life. Anyway then, let's go and introduce you to the first couple of locomotives that we're going to be running, and let's enjoy ourselves. So let's get on with that now. And I'm going to try and do this chronologically again, which means we're going to start with the earliest locomotives and work our way through to the most modern. And actually the one we're starting with then, as you can see just here, the M7, originates from as far back as the 19th century, which is incredible, isn't it, to think that these locomotives are as old as that. And this one is a little strange, I must admit, because I read online that these locos later, you know, I think in the maybe even as far as the 50s, 1950s, they were fitted with push-pull equipment, which enabled them to pull the push-pull services. So I thought that's what we'd do today. Now, because I haven't got an awful lot of Southern rolling stock, I've got a couple of LMS coaches hooked up to her, as you can see. But I decided for her little running session, she's actually going to be pushing them. Of course, we've got to get her out of this siding, and during that she will have to pull them out. But after that I'm going to have her pushing them round, so it's a little strange, I admit, but hopefully it should make things a little bit more varied, so hopefully you'll enjoy that then. So number 245, the Southern M7 locomotive, let's bring her out, and once she gets running I'll give you a little bit of information on her. Okay, let's give that a try. Let me grab these points then, there we go, and we'll see how she gets on. Well, she did that amazingly well. To say she's only got 4 wheels that pick up electricity, I mean, to say she did that without stuttering on the points or anything was fantastic. Anyway, before we get her off, let's give you a little close-up then. And of course I've just reviewed her not too long ago. It was about a month ago, I suppose. So when I give you the information on her while she's running round, it's not going to be as comprehensive as the others, because I realise that some of you will have heard it all before. But if you haven't seen the review of her and you'd like to know more, you can by all means check that video out. I'll put a link to it at the end for you if you'd like to see it. But that's why I'm just going to give you a little bit of information so that I'm not overloading you with the same info I've given you before. Alright, let's give her a little bit of a running session then. I'm going to swap direction so that she's pushing this time, as I explained. And yeah, let's see how she does it. Hopefully we won't have any derailments. Hopefully with it being just 2 coaches we should be alright. Okay, let's try this. Swap direction, and off she goes. Okay, so slightly random, but there it is anyway. The Southern / LMS push-pull service run by the M7. And of course the M7 was designed by Mr. Drummond in 1897, and they were produced for many years. And they proved to be actually very, very useful locomotives, so much so that 105 of them were produced, which is quite a lot for the 1890s, although they were produced well into the early 1900s as well. Unfortunately though, only 2 of them have been preserved, which is more than some, but sadly, of course, that's an awful lot that have been scrapped. And as I said before, for more information on this class, you can see my other review of the M7, and it was this one actually, it wasn't the black one, it was the green one. So enjoy her for a second longer, and then I'll stop her and introduce you to the next locomotive. Alright, well I think she performed that well anyway, nothing derailed. I'll just stop her, well, about there. And then we'll head over to the siding then, and I'll show you the next loco. Okay, and here it is, number 2. And I actually chose this slightly older version as opposed to the more recent Hornby version, because I think this old version is such a great model. It's such a good runner, and it's very, very elegant and gorgeous, to be honest, and hopefully you'll see that. What I'm describing then, and what you can see, is the N15, or the class N15, also known as the King Arthur class, and this loco in particular is number 795 Sir Dinadan, and you'll probably all have heard of it if you're into the sort of trying Hornby or early Hornby stuff. So yeah, that's what it is. She's got, well, let's see here, 5 coaches, 5 Southern coaches, not my entire rake. I've saved a couple of them for a loco later on, but yeah, I think that's quite a nice rake for her. She was an express passenger locomotive, and I'll tell you all about her in just a minute. She's only a 460, so she probably wouldn't be having massive trains. Anyway, enough of chit chat. Let's get these points open, and let's give her a little run. What she was born to do. Right, let's get her out of that siding then. Hopefully she'll do it properly. There we go. I'll just get that point then, and then we'll reverse her back, and just in case you'd like another close-up, I'll do that for you. There we go, and there she is. The lovely Sir Dinadan, which is an N15, and it's in this really strange, it's almost like a turquoisey green, isn't it? Which you'll see will contrast quite a bit with the usual Southern green, but I still think it's very, very nice indeed. Number 795, gorgeous 460 with that lovely Walschaerts valve gear, which in just a second you'll see in motion. But yeah, very, very nice loco, and she really is an excellent runner. So let's give her a little bit of power now then, and we'll get her to pull these coaches off. And what a brilliant loco she is. I mean, really, if you're into your Southern stuff, an N15 or even an S15 are absolute musts because they're so lovely. So anyway, a little bit of information then. The original design was by Robert Urey in 1919, designed for express passenger stuff. But they were redesigned by Richard Maunsell, and then even later on modified by Bulliard. So the loco was changed quite a little bit over the years, but I suppose Urey was probably the one we can say designed and built them. They were originally from the LSWR, which we've already talked about, but of course that did become part of the Southern Railway. In total there were 74 of these lovely girls produced, and sadly only one preserved. And I'm not sure where she is now actually, but it would be lovely to see her in real life. So yeah, enjoy her for a moment longer then we'll start the M7 up and we'll get them going together. Well, I bet these passengers are getting quite annoyed with me by now on the M7, so better get her off again then. Don't want to make anybody late. There we go. Alright, let's watch them go together then. And obviously I do apologise once again for the strange choice of coaches here. But you know, I've just got to make do really. But yeah, both pretty good runners anyway, which is of course what we aim for. Not bad at all. And here comes the M15 now. speeding along. Lovely. And Southern coaches always look very gorgeous, don't they? And the M7 is certainly very nippy as well, isn't she? But yeah, okay then, let's stop this loco here, and, well, the N15 I mean, I shouldn't just call it this loco. And we'll stick her back in her siding where she started off then. Let me get those points. There we go. And let's back all those in then. There we go. Oops, gently does it. These coaches are pretty good though, they don't tend to derail, so I'm not too worried, but also I was tempting fate slightly there, so nope, that did very well, and of course the Dinadan is very lovely. So let's flick this point back, and then we'll deal with the M7, which is just shooting under the shot there. Let's go and open her points. If I get this right, I should be able to cut her out just in time, so that I don't have to be over at the controls. Of course, if the coaches derail, we're in trouble, but hopefully they won't. Nope. Reset the points, and that's that. Okay, moving on, let's get to the next couple of locos. Okay, so next up then, we're into the 1920s with the 440 L1. Lovely loco, number 1757. She's got the other two of those Southern Green coaches, but you can't see them too well at the moment because they're inside the tunnel. But in just a sec, I'll get her going, we'll get this point open and all that, and get her out, and let you have a proper look at her, because obviously she's quite well hidden where she is now. So let's grab that point then, and let's give her a little juice and bring her around to the front. And as you might remember from the L1 video I did not too long ago, this one's a very, very good runner. And it looks really cute with those two little coaches. We'll stop her about there then. And let's go down for a quick look. She's a lovely Southern Green 440, and obviously it wasn't too long ago since I made a video about the 440s as well. Anyway, that's a good close look at her and the coaches. Of course these locos were quite powerful in real life, but you know, for the purposes of this video she does look quite, well, it looks quite fitting that she's got quite a small train, and it doesn't look out of place really. So let's get her going then, let's give her some power, and let's get her off around the layout. And as always, I'll give you a little information while she does it. Okay, here she goes. Okay, so very elegant 440 locomotives then. 1926, these were designed by Richard Maunsell, and they were designed really for express passenger service, which is really what we're doing here, I suppose. Now, instead of designing an entirely original new class of locomotives, he actually amended the design of a couple of Harry Wainwright's designs. I think they were called the D class and the E class, and there was one more, I can't remember what it was. But they were based on those sorts of designs. They needed 15, so they built 15. But sadly all of them were scrapped, which is a terrible shame, but at least we've got the models, I suppose, which is not much consolation, but a little. Okay, well, let's let her run for a little while longer, then I'll stop her at the front and I'll go and introduce you to number 4. Okay, we'll stop her here again then, and then we'll head round to the sidings and let's show you the next loco. And next up then is the lovely Schools class. This is another 440, so it's really quite fitting that she'll be running with the L1. They're very interesting locomotives, extremely powerful too. And so I'll tell you all about that in a moment anyway. Now, on the back of her, this is a bit of a controversial choice, but I haven't run these for a long time and they're not strictly Southern coaches. Having said that, they are green, so they do work in that sense. Although in real life you probably would have never seen this, because those coaches are from World War One and the schools class is from 1930, so it's, you know, you probably wouldn't have seen it in real life. But you'll certainly see it here on my railway, and of course those coaches are the Bachmann coaches from the hospital train set, or was it the ambulance train set? I always get it mixed up anyway, but yep, that's a schools class. Of course those coaches are actually designed to be pulled by a 440, but it was actually the city class, I think it was City of Birmingham, wasn't it, that was pulling those originally. But I thought, anyway, it might be nice to get them going again today. And they're sort of the right colour. They're not quite southern green, but you know, it's neither here or there, so hopefully you'll enjoy seeing those. Are a bit of something different. Let's start off then by opening these points. Right there, I think the other ones are set properly. And I'll go over to the controls and give her a little bit of power and see if this lovely schools class will pull them out nicely. Very powerful this one, so it shouldn't be a problem. Let's do it. Yep, that was pretty successful, and there she is, a little bit of slow running for you. Of course, it's only in recent years that Hornby have started to make a loco-driven schools class. Even I can remember the days when you'd go into a model shop and ask, you know, have you got any loco-driven schools class? And they would say, no, I don't think Hornby make one. But they do now, as you can see there. And this example is the railroad version, and it's the most modern locomotive I'm going to be showing today in terms of model age, not in real life. But having said that, the detail is pretty good. But if you did want a little extra detail, you can buy the Railways version, which is also available from Hornby, which I believe is very, very good. So yeah, that's a little close-up of the schools class for you, and there are the coaches, looking very elegant. Not run them for a long time, so I'm really pleased to be able to do that. But yeah, let's stop chattering about her then, let's get her going. And it's a very interesting class, this one, so hopefully you'll enjoy hearing all about it. Okay, let's give her a little bit of power then, and off she goes. Okay, so there she goes then, at quite a gentle speed actually, and I've just done that really so that you can see what a nice smooth runner she is. But if you are somebody who likes speed, don't worry, I'll speed her up in a minute when we get the L1 running with her. But you know, just in case people like to see them going slow a little bit, I thought I'd do that. Anyway, so for some information then, the schools class, or also known as the Southern Railway V class, was designed by Richard Maunsell, built in 1930, well, designed in 1930, built after 1930, which means that it was after the establishment of the Southern Railway in 1923, which means that the schools class was born and bred Southern Railway, instead of just being inherited by it, if you like. It was actually only the second Southern 440 design, and in terms of tractive effort, the schools class was actually the most powerful 440 ever to run in Europe, which is a massive claim. But it really gives you an idea of just how powerful they are. It's sort of based on the King Arthur locomotive a little bit. Apparently it's the same boiler but just shortened, and if you look at them together, which we will do at the end, you can sort of see the similarities there. And in total then, 74 of them were produced over the period, and only one preserved, but as always, one is better than none. And yes, they are very, very lovely locomotives. So enjoy her for a minute longer then we'll start the L1 again, and we'll do a bit of running together before I show you the final loco. Right, let's speed her up slightly then. Not too much, but yeah, about there. And along with her then, let's start the L1 as well. Lovely trying L1. Not too fast though. Okay, time to get on to the last locomotive of the day, so I'm going to stop the schools class there. She can actually stay out on the line and we might run her alongside the last loco, but the L1 has to go back into the siding, of course. So, yeah, stop her there. I'll just grab that point. There we go, got it. Okay, and hopefully she'll back into there without any problems. So let's give that a try. Yes, very nicely done. No problems with this old stuff anyway. Right, shut that point again. And let's go and show you the last couple then. And I say a couple because we're going to end with a lovely double header. And there it is then, that double header. Two Battle of Britain / West Country class locomotives. And when I tell you all about the class and all that lot, I will talk about the distinction between the West Country class, the Battle of Britain class, and even the Merchant Navy class, which is actually totally different. But is often confused as being the same sort of thing, although similar but not the same. So yeah, two of those. Of course they're mixed traffic locos, or they were designed to be. So I've used that opportunity to pull some freight. She's got lots of stone wagons, as you can see, quite a heavy load, because those stones are real and they're very heavy. You've also got some pork wagons, some Weetabix, and some Southern Railway, get that, Southern Railway cattle wagons, as well as a nondescript brake van on the end. So not necessarily typical of the Southern Railway, but it is freight, and presumably freight was fairly universal in the UK during the steam era. Anyway, let's get these points open then and bring these two locos out. So let's grab that point. There we go. And I do apologise that it's a little bit dark just here, but hopefully you'll be able to see them. And hopefully there won't be any problems with pulling all this lot out of the siding. But there's only one way to find out, so I'll head over to the controls and we'll get them going. I want to keep them slow over these points just in case there's a problem. But hopefully there won't be. A good slow freight speed there. Yeah, it all seems to be coming out nice. Okay, and stop there and reset the point, and we'll bring them round to the front for you. And we'll bring those two to a stop about there then. And of course the Battle of Britain class is probably the most recognisable class of Southern Pacifics. They are very well known, and it probably wouldn't have been right to have a Southern day without them. So let's take a couple of close-ups of them then. The one at the front then in the BR green is Winston Churchill, and that's got the golden arrows on it. And of course the fact that it's in BR means that this was probably modelled after the Southern period, you know, after they were all united into British Railways. But the one at the back is just the regular Southern green one. I was told when I bought this that it was at Winston Churchill as well, but there are no nameplates to support that, so I'll have to Google the running number at some point. But yeah, there they are. And the running numbers, just out of interest, are 34051, that's the one at the front, and 21C164 at the back, and that's the Southern one. So, yeah, two lovely locos. Let's get them off now then, give them a little more juice, and I'll tell you all about them on the way round. So the West Country and Battle of Britain classes, which were known collectively as Light Pacifics, were informally known as spam cans. For obvious reasons, I suppose they do look a bit like tin cans. And they were designed for mixed traffic by Oliver Bulliard in 1945, which is of course the latest we are going to look at today in the Southern Day. They are a lot smaller than the Merchant Navy class, which you could probably work out in the name Light Pacifics, because the Merchant Navy certainly weren't small, they were very large locos, and they were quite different in the technical specifications as well. So the first 48 locos to be produced were known as the West Country class, and the final 70 of them were known as Battle of Britons. But technically the two are identical, there is no technical difference between them, it's just, I suppose, a way of naming them. So Winston Churchill then, at least, was one of the Battle of Britons. In other words, that loco was in the last 70 to be produced and wasn't in the first 48. In total then there were 110 produced approximately, and 10 of them have been preserved, and of course the rest have been scrapped, which is a great shame. So anyway, enjoy these two on their own for the time being, and after we've done a little running with those two, we'll start the schools class up again and let her have a run alongside them just to make things a bit more interesting. Alright, so for the last little bit then, we'll start the schools class up as well and get it to run alongside them. A little bit of passenger and a little bit of freight at the same time, so let's give that a try. There we go, lovely. And I've really enjoyed doing this. The Southern Locomotives absolutely have such character. Just look at them go. And hopefully you'll have learnt a little bit as well. And if you knew all the stuff anyway, well, hopefully you just enjoyed seeing it. Alright everybody, well that's just about it for today, so thank you very much for watching as always. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed doing this one, as I keep saying. But if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, you can even subscribe if you'd like, and then you won't miss any of the future posts. But yeah, that's just about it. You can visit me on Facebook and Twitter if you like, which is facebook.com/samstrains and twitter.com/samstrains. But from me and from the Locos, that's about it. I'll say thank you very much for all the views and all the likes and all the subscriptions over this last couple of months. It's really been quite major, and it means a lot that you all want to see all this sort of stuff, so thank you all very much as always. And yeah, that's about it. So that's it. That's a day with Southern Locomotives, all 6 of them just there in front of you. So yeah, that was great fun. Thank you very much for watching. As I've already said all this, so I won't say it again, but I thought I'd just leave you with a shot of all of them. So there you have it, and I'll see you soon. Alright, cheers everybody.